Yeah, January.
You
10th,
dropped
11th,
Surprise Lolly yesterday,
back to back.
right?
No. Yes.
Shit. I need to turn that off.
Today is the 12th.
Okay, yeah, so Surprise Lolly was...
Wait, what did I miss?
Comes across a private tutoring gig with good pay. But his pupils are his classmates. And they're quintuplets. And they're all gorgeous girls, but they're also troublemakers who hate to study and are on the verge of flunking out. His first task is simply gaining the sisters' trust. Every day is a party. The curtain is rising on the Nakano Quintuplets quirky romantic comedy with 5 times the cute.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
So what's going to be fun about this is deciding who best girl is, because like, can we tell them apart?
Hey, you want to hear the genres list?
Oh boy.
Comedy, romance, and etchy.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll tell you the way my mom makes her cocoa. All right. First thing you do, is you take take a travel coffee cup and put it under the Keurig. You take a Swiss Miss cocoa package. You put it in the Keurig. You pop it down there. You use the small setting. Run a small cup of cocoa through it. Pop that thing out. Throw it away. Pull out another Swiss Miss. Put it in there. Close the thing. Run a medium cup. Okay, that's gonna fill up this little cup all the way, but you got 2 cocos in there. And then you take marshmallows and you put a stack of marshmallows on that mug. And you take some half and half. You go a little bit of half and half, shot of half and half, shot and a half of half and half. And then you take a lid and you pop it on that mug and you drink the shit out of it, because...
This is a prediction. An extreme crisis will befall the 5 of you someday.
Oh no.
At that time, you 5 will protect everyone. Daisuke Dojima is a second-year high school student who, as a child, was kidnapped. Daisuke, along with his friends Guy, Lou, Mari, and Keisaku, get wrapped up in the mysterious phenomenon known as Shibuya Drift.
Oh no.
The central area of Shibuya rises up and is transported at least 300 years in the
It's
future.
time travel.
Chris, you got it, dude!
The rising of the shield hero, Renshi Akoda-chan. The quintessential
Richie!
Renshi! We have to do that every time.
I love it. I'm down.
He meets a moody girl by the name of Rui and ends up sleeping with her. In
Actual
an
fucking-
anime? In my Japanese anime? Soon
Literally
after.
just sleeping though.
Yeah, watch it. Yeah, watch it literally be just taking a nap.
Oh boy.
I'm
Oh boy.
like...
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Look at that, though.
Aww.
Are
It's
these
adorable.
plain girls? These are plain girls, aren't they?
Oh,
I don't know.
fuck,
pilot?
they are. They
Are
they
they-
have to be, right?
F-15, Sean.
Are they the F-15? There is only one rule they must obey. Do not leave the orphanage. But one day, 2 top-scoring orphans, Emma and Norman, venture past... I know.
These are some grade A orphans, you know what I'm saying? We got
We got some great orphans. Over here, we got some athletic orphans. If you want to watch your orphan play some football, over here, we got a... if you want a virtue signal, you can adopt an orphan with Down syndrome. We got them over here.
these orphans are raised caged-free, free-range orphans. You know, grass-fed.
Grass-fed orphans.
This show is gonna be so bad.
I feel like we just made it bad. No matter how good it actually is, this discussion has made
It
the
might have
show
actually
bad.
been like the most heartfelt shit. We've ruined it. Ugh.
We gotta on the cover art. We've got an orphan with a lantern. He's obviously walking around with a lantern. Oh, this is gonna be quite a thing, isn't it? Norman and Emma.
Norman the orphan.
Norman the orphan.
His faithful sidekick Emma orphan. What is my life?
Watch it and we're gonna shit on it.
Zero complex.
Mom asked why I was crying in the bathroom. I said orphans. She's so confused.
Now, is he walking around with a lantern, or is he about to be delighted? Hey.
And once the globalists take over, they make everybody turn in their firearms. See, everybody has to turn their firearms into the globalist superpower. And what the globalist baby-eating, Satan-worshipping superpower does is they then become a despotic organization. They become tyrants. And these tyrants start running everything. But see, all the people have are old school muskets. Just like the fucking liberals, all they want us to have is this, it was written in the 1700s, and they didn't expect AK-47s or whatever. Well, that doesn't matter because, Second Amendment's the Second Amendment. But regardless, everybody just has these old school muskets, old school flintlock firearms. And so they have these flintlock firearms and they go out there and they decide they're going to take the fight to the despotic government, as we should today. And so we take this fight to the despotic government and they go in there and they start fighting them. But the problem is the muskets are alive.
I had the good fortune of watching all of these shows with Chris and Nick because I was in town for 2 weeks. And Chris had already seen a couple of these before I started. So before he even turned the show on, he looks at me and he says, "This is technically an anime." The anime closes with our main character thinking about the thing that matters most to him and what it would mean if he lost it while he's watering his... He has so many plants. He has like a patio full of plants and also rocks. And so you're like, so which one of these things is the thing you value most, the plants or the rocks that you've collected?
And that's really the hard-hitting question that the show asks is, rocks or plants? Which one?
Which one?
The actual Sphinx, the proportions are wrong on the actual Sphinx because people theorized that it was originally a dog head that was on the Sphinx and it ended up being destroyed or something like that, and then they had to carve a human head onto it. But the human head on this Sphinx is not too small. Fuck you, Zero!
Some throwbacks to our Twitch exclusive.
Zero Complex in the chat said, "Slaps roofs of Sphinx. This bad boy can take so many day traders' money."
I died when I read that. I didn't want to interrupt you, Dean, but I fucking died. That brings our total score for the show to a 1 or 5%. We're off to a great start, my dudes.
It's a new season. We're excited. We're getting to see new shows. It's part of like that fun cycle of like, you go through the season, you like see all the shows and you start to get them all. And it's like, I'm looking forward to just like watching a show, not knowing what's about to happen. It's just like kind of that exciting new feeling. And yeah, here we go.
You certainly didn't know what was about to happen with this show.
It's like riding a roller coaster that could go off the rails at literally any moment.
It's like, are you sure this thing is safe?
Every moment.
Totally. We haven't had an accident in 2 months.
He's constantly rolling over the time since shitty episode calendar. This is a Saab JAS-39, also known as a Gripen. It is. They actually sell these to the military. They sell these to Thailand, actually, in some cases, which makes them a TIE fighter.
So he opens up the thing, and then there's this cute girl inside, who is apparently the pilot, and she kisses him and then faints.
110% anime. Oh my god. I was so happy. She opens the cockpit and kind of falls out into his arms and kisses him before passing out. I was on board. Not in a good way.
One thing I want to point out about the production value in this show is that the production value in this show.
Yes.
JPEGs everywhere.
For days.
I actually don't remember because this show had so many different girls who were only distinguished by their candy color hair color.
Yep.
They each had a character trait.
At one, exactly.
A character trait.
They had a character, yeah.
And it is their hair color.
Was the cat girl in this show a lolly? I feel like she wasn't actually.
She looked like she was the youngest of the group in a group made up entirely of
No, there was the short
people.
There was the short girl. She was young.
Yeah. She was
broody.
shorter. I don't know if she was, because she had like boobs and stuff. I don't know if she was a lolly or if she was
And
just short.
stuff. I mean,
it is
etc.
anime. So
She wasn't drawn typically lolly, even though she was short. It was mostly character stuff. And,
Well, there were 12 characters.
right, which makes sense. You have 12 characters. You're gonna be mostly character shit.
You can choose.
Which I didn't
which one's
actually
your
hate.
favorite.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's a fun show to watch. You can choose your favorite one.
The blonde Russian. The blonde Russian's my favorite.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, totally. No question.
So this is the first time Dean and I have achieved consensus on Best Girl. So podcast canceled.
Fine, I'll get through this ad and then I'll play the next level.
Yes, I have played Bullet Hell Monday.
Exactly. That's the way in which this made me interested to see more. I resent it for it, and it does not get a point for that. But it was, yeah. You know what I'm getting at. You picking up what I'm putting down.
Yes, absolutely. You hate the fact that that part of you wanted to like this. I understand.
Yeah, it was like, oh man, why do I want to watch more of this? Again, it was like falling through the plot, and like the gravity just naturally took me into the second episode. But I had to make the decision to start flapping my wings and flying out. I'm done.
Thinking about it, I think what Nick just described is liking an anime show.
that is kind of the experience of liking anime. Like, oh god, I hate myself and I'm going to keep watching this.
Is that how this starts?
That's how it starts.
Yeah,
Is
sorry.
pastel memories my gateway drug into anime?
Oh god, yeah, well, I mean, it happens. everybody has that one that they've watched every bit of. For that reason, you feel like you're falling into a hole and you just don't really have the will to quit. And I think that's why I watched all of that dumb show last season.
So I could get up and go do something else with my evening, but what would I do? So I just
and I couldn't pay attention because I was just so baffled by the 2D 3D juxtaposition.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at a screenshot from that scene right now, and it is like the girls are all in 3D and the guys are in 2D on the same frame. And what's funny is it's actually symbolic because these are all flat characters.
There you go.
Shouldn't all of the characters have been 2D then?
Well, hey, you know.
To have a tight shot with a weird camera angle only serves to confuse the viewer, especially when you have a show that's cut to death. This thing is shot every 5 seconds. Everybody! And then they do...
Literally, we see everyone.
Chris?
I watch Katana Maiden's Mini Toji to see if I still feel.
I hurt myself.
Results inconclusive. Katana Maiden's Mini Toji episode 1, abnormally spastic. Straight serious.
No, normal.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
All right, matchup number 2, we have Girly Air Force versus the magnificent Kotobuki. What an appropriate matchup. Kotobuki for me.
Kotobuki.
Girly Air Force.
Same.
Oh,
We have a tie. Pog. Okay, so 2-2, we have a tie. Okay. Now
We have a
matchup
tie.
number
Tie.
Another
tie.
tie. Holy shit.
3. This is unprecedented.
I'm going with Pastel Memories.
I'm going with Pastel Memories.
Tie.
Tie.
All right, round 5, our final round for the day. We have magical girl, magical girl, special ops,
Special ops.
Asuka versus Girly Air Force.
Special Girl Magical Ops.
Asuka for me.
Also Asuka.
What was the matchup?
Asuka versus Girly Air Force.
Which episode would I rather watch again?
Which show would you rather watch between the two? Yeah. Not necessarily again, just like if you were going to keep watching one, which one?
I guess Girly Air Force.
Tie.
Is that a tie?
Tied for third place with both with 2, 1, and 2. We have Pastel Memories and the magnificent Kotobuki.
That's a tie?
That's a tie. Oh. Well, there go my eardrums. Yeah, Kotobuki is tied third.
Yeah, I guess I was the only one who liked that one.
You and Chris
voted for it a lot too.
You and Chris both liked that one. It just so happens that Dean and I like trash. And we like trash over just kind of okay.
Yeah.
And so the Kotobuki,
Fair enough. Fair
tied.
enough.
Yeah, like we said in the intro, it's the show that we'd rather watch, not the one that we think is better.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the that's
I would rather watch the
Yeah.
better show because I'm sophisticated.
I think that's the difference between general sophistication and anime sophistication. The full title of the manga is something like "My roommate sits on my head and sometimes sits in my lap."
This this sounds like a title for a Japanese adult video.
It does. Follow
Oh, by the way.
JAV titles on Twitter.
Yeah, so I was just about to say that. That is a great Twitter. The only reason to go to Twitter nowadays.
All right, AniFiles cast members. Let's say our catchphrase.
He who laughs last laughs best. I think was that.
This
was that
show
it?
doesn't have an outro.
We need a better outro. That's what it was. Okay. Once more, the feeling.
All right, AniFiles cast members. Let's say our catchphrase. We need a better outro.
Girls, this is a harem. This is a harem show. It's kind of a light harem show in a way because it's not just about the harem. There's actually a lot of really interesting shit that goes on. Anyway,
It's also a relatively small harem. It's like, but is it just the 2, or is there a suggestion of like 3 or more? I forget.
It's just
there's 4 in the OP,
Mm.
and there's
is
a
there?
third that comes later in the show.
Ah.
The 4th one in the OP we haven't met yet.
It's a micro harem.
Yeah, kind of actually, which is sort of cool. Anyway,
Not to be confused with the Pico harem, which is actually just a monogamous relationship. But
Actually, I'm gonna start calling myself that. I'm no longer monogamous. I enjoy having a pico harem. Goes out. Oh, I forget to mention, the boy also has a crush on his teacher. No big deal. So he
As you
opens up
do.
the dad. Yeah, as you do. The dad opens up. The teacher seems relatively young, and he seems relatively old. So it's like,
Yeah, they're pretty close together in age.
Mhm.
right. As far as age is concerned, it's not weird. The weird bit's the teacher bit. Anyway, so
We
he
call that
opens up the door.
fraternization.
I like
And,
it when you
yes.
call me sensei.
Oh God.
So
Astute listeners might have picked up on my favorite thing about this show, which is everyone is a fucking rational human being.
Yes, people make sense.
amazing.
And the fucking actually happens. First, like, the fucking happened before anything else, which is interesting.
I don't really know. Did the production impress
The
me?
premise that the OP seems to reveal is that we have a character who fights supernatural shit and possesses another body. That's what I picked up from the OP.
If that,
Same.
see, because if that's what it is, not on board for that. But that's not really what I got from actually watching the show.
Yeah, it
Exactly.
felt very different. And it almost makes me
Exactly.
wonder too if like maybe what we're gonna have is still following our MC dude. And it's kind of just a case of like my girlfriend is a superhero, but she doesn't know it. And so I'm really concerned about someone using my girlfriend's body to do superhero shit because I want to see my girlfriend again. So
Actually, you know what? I love that premise.
All right, if that's the premise, I'm down again.
whether it is, we don't. Because there's this big purple ball, crystal ball kind of that contains a girl in there. And
Well, you just kind of blew past that. What the fuck's in this orb?
A child is in this orb.
in a package that was being shipped to this town.
I
Lolly,
ship children in crates.
And wondering if maybe she got lost. Like, where is she? What if she fell into a trade? She got swept away by the tide. And then no, she's just kind of like chilling up on like this like precipice, this kind of like overhang of coral or something. And she's like looking at her phone, but her phone's not getting any signals. So she's like, there really is nothing out here, is there? So
Wait
we
a
have
minute,
this.
wait a minute. You blew by that. She's looking at what?
Her smartphone underwater. I mean, there are smartphones that have resistances up to like, what is it, like 5 meters? This is much more than 5 meters, but still, water resistance. But she doesn't get any signal out here. Is that for some reason, I guess maybe there has to be some sort of cave that the trees were blocking because like we see shots of them swimming way up high. You would think they would have seen this massive building.
Swim in this world. How have you not seen? How have you never been at an angle from which you can see what's behind those trees? Verticality is part of your life.
really even kicks in. The opening shot happens, and I'm just like, I would like to send this anime a cease and desist, please. Hello, yes, this is Ryan. I would like to sue anime.
I would like to sue anime.
Because every girl's dream is to have a sword pointed at her in the past and have some guy you just met 5 minutes ago who's clearly trying to rape you confess his love in the form of exclaiming that you're engaged, not even giving you any
No say
agency
So
in the matter.
we talked
because
earlier
if there's
about-
one thing we know that girls like, it's not having any agency.
Yeah, well, isn't that what every girl wants? Is to have some random dude say, "Hey, we're engaged."
Only if
Especially
he's
some
hot.
fucking creepy ass. Actually, there's maybe. But
But
anyway,
it's like we talked about earlier. I feel like, though, there is a very important question in chat that we need to address here. So Termi in chat says, how do you guys keep watching shows that make you angry? I would just turn it off. That is because, Termi, we are professional animes.
We are professional animes.
Christ.
Which leads me to my question. Why are there so many dudes in Otome? Like, an average harem is 4 or 5 girls. A small harem is like 2 or 3. A micro harem, as it were. A pico harem is 1. But an Otome harem is like a mega harem. It's like 7+ dudes in your harem. Like, too many dudes. AniFiles cast. Let's say our motto. They're not related by blood.
Blood.
I kind of powered through that really quick. I apologize.
We'll have to get our cadence down.
Cut. Places. Take 2.
Welcome to AniFiles, episode 52, the official Kizna AI fan podcast. I'm your host, the rare comedary, Ryan. With us today, we have the kudere, Chris.
Hello.
The dede, Dean.
Twiddle fingers with me, Chris. Twiddle fingers with me.
And everyone's favorite tsundere, our special guest, Adam.
I'm not twiddling fingers with you. I know where they've been. I just learned where they've been.
And
In fact, I may need to wash my hands.
And that scene ended, and I looked in confusion at my screen for a second, and then thought to myself, why the fuck is this still on my television? And I turned it off.
See, I don't have a timestamp because I didn't write one. But I was thinking exactly the same thing as you. However, because I am a diligent guest and not a regular on this show with my position cemented, I sat through the remaining 15 and a half minutes of this show.
We appreciate
wondering why I hadn't turned it off.
You are a stronger man than I.
I wanted
This
to
thing
mention
was
this in the pre-show,
terrible.
but watching all 6 of these gave me a newfound respect for the 3 of you.
Why, thank you.
Yes,
See,
exactly.
The problem with my method is that I watched this show on Tuesday, which meant that I now have memories of this show from Tuesday that I had to survive through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right now, and the rest of my fucking life. I'm looking forward to actually watching season 2. I'm going to quote Weird Al right now. I would rather rip my heart right out of my rib cage with my bare hands and then throw it on the ground and stomp on it till I die than spend 1 more minute with Virtual Sun is looking.
Hey, you remember that thing you did where you were like, it would be a really good idea if you guys did a loser's bracket and had to decide which of the worst anime you'd rather watch?
Oh. And you know what? I'm not going to be on that episode.
And so they eat and talk, and then they wake up, and there's a whole bunch of party members that get to choose which hero they go with, because that's a system that makes a lot of sense, and none of them choose the shield hero, and he's really mad about that, so he yells a little bit, and then one of them agrees to join him, and he's really happy because she's pretty. And so they go off and they fight things, and she's like being a little bit too nice, and you're saying, I know where this is going. And they buy
everybody gets raped by goblins in a cave.
Different shouting.
Oh, never mind.
The other 3 start their D&D game with, okay, we are characters in your world now. The fuck are you going to give us? Because if we don't like what you say, we're going to work for the other guys. Mm-hmm. We're going to just straight up screw your 4 crystals, screw your destiny, fuck your gotta kill the 8 dragons. I'm not doing any of that unless you promise me some money. And if you don't, I'm gonna go over to Team Oblivion or whatever. I'm gonna go find Dark Magician Grey Wand and fucking beat your asses because he's gonna give me a better deal.
And no, we don't
And
care for
And
our
that's
live
those
games.
other three
In there.
characters.
I love that you described it as D&D because they're the people who in the D&D playthrough, when the barkeep says, I need you to help me track down my daughter, they're it's usually one guy, but their whole party's made up of dudes who are like, what are you going to give
Is she
me?
hot?
Exactly.
I mean, your question too, but my question too. The board, I really enjoyed watching this, and I admit that might be partially colored because of what I watched on Tuesday, but but I am very, very on board to watching more Wednesday show as soon as I have free time again. And as more of it comes out,
You sit
Yeah.
down to watch this with a gun to your head, and as the episode goes on, you just kind of slowly put the gun down.
I've got most of the message written to Ryan. I'm sorry I won't be able to make it to the podcast because and I just sort of start backspacing the message.
slowly.
Light returns to my eyes, color returns to my face.
Like I love this. I love this as an art project, not as a TV show.
Oh,
I love
Dean,
it as an art project.
did you just change my answer on am I interested to see more? Because I think you did. I think you just sold me on a few more episodes of this show.
I just went through,
No. I as the guest, I have to object that using future knowledge to reference.
That is true.
The question is, did the first episode make you interested to see more?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Not did Dean make you interested to see more?
Did Dean talking about more of the episodes make you interested to see more?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
Chris
I
and
didn't-
Dean need to give titles.
All right. Rinchi Akoda-chan, episode 1, 100% reason to forget the name. I forget what my reasoning was for that, but it made sense at the time. So
The character. Am I going to watch more? Probably not. But am I interested based on the question? Yes. So I give this high marks despite the fact that I will probably never watch it again. And my episode title is Rinchi Akoda-chan episode 1 in your endo.
you wouldn't believe how many shows I've given high marks and never touched again.
Yeah.
On this
No,
podcast.
I've seen this show before. I would very much
you would probably believe it. Yeah.
Chase this girl down. He puts himself in one of those put your face in the hole and be a different person cardboard cutout things. He puts his face in one of those, and one of the girls asks him, like, you having fun? Like,
No,
no.
She specifically asks him, are you having fun by yourself? Because it's a cutout for two people.
exactly.
And he
Which he
says,
I do this all the time. This is my favorite thing. To which she replies, oh, staring at high school girls. I'm calling the cops.
Calls him out immediately.
it's so good.
right?
It was so good.
It's awesome.
Thinking about it.
I mean, basically every harem MC is oblivious anyway. Like we've also had that conversation. So
They are. Absolutely they are. I don't know. I read this more wholesome than that.
maybe it is.
I mean, he also does get married to at least 5 of them. So because these are people of wealth and status, they cannot be associating with, particularly romantically, people from a lower station than them. And so they can't just go outright and admit feelings to one another because this is the world they're from.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I wish there was a booming omniscient voice that would remind me of that fact over and over and over again in this show.
Well, you're gonna love the show then, buddy.
The first thing that we get in Domestic Girlfriend is hey, let's go awkwardly bone because we're both virgins and I want to know what it's like. Okay. Like that to me is the more true to life version of this.
I'm not sure how true to life it is. But I did enjoy, for example, kind of like the tension and release of like back and forth and like, you know, kind of just like getting more and more like high stakes and like who's gonna break first. And then we had Third Wheel Chan come in and kind of like be the comedic relief. And so and so it's like tension, and all of a sudden she says something dumb and funny, and it's like, okay. And it's like that was a good approach. It just like could have been executed a little bit better, I think.
So I was meaning
is the best.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic name for her.
All right, round 5, matchup number 2. We have Rainy Kokosai G versus Ranchi Akoda-chan.
Renchi.
Same. So it's 4-0 in favor of Renchi, the superior short anime. And round 5, final matchup.
It's the short anime that you can watch the extended version of.
Yeah, there you go.
As
It's got special
opposed to the
features.
extended version that has been cut into. But this is good news for all of you, because it means I get to enjoy your reactions watching the rest of this show when it shows up in the losers bracket. You're welcome.
We haven't done that yet, but maybe we can change that for 2019, that we do watch the winner of the losers bracket.
I think we should.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
I think we have to at this point.
All right.
It's a good thing it's happening now and not last season, because I would have been watching all of Conception.
No.
That's fair.
What we need to be careful about
a show
is
like that.
not letting that prospect alter our decision making in the losers bracket, because we're gonna be like,
oh yeah.
No, if I'm gonna
I think I'd rather watch this one.
if I'm gonna be forced to sit down and allow garbage into my face, it better be the worst fucking garbage you got.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Welcome
I
to
want to experience
AniFiles.
Yep.
If I'm gonna put garbage into my face,
It's gotta be
the worst.
Yeah.
We got the
Garbage
worst
ever had.
garbage.
Welcome to
Why
AniFiles
don't you
episode
understand
53.
that anime belongs in the trash?
This has been episode number 52 of AniFiles. Nick will be with us always.
It's the little crack at the end of that clip. The little crack in the voice at the end of that clip makes that clip gold.
But what our main character was doing was not
It's the same
DJing.
fucking loop. It's the same fucking loop. Over
Also,
and
I love how everyone loved it so much. They're like, oh, this is so groovy, so great. Like, they're just dancing like crazy. It's like, what the fuck are you listening to right now?
No, it's a mediocre SoundCloud beat. Nobody fucking does that.
It's a
I mean, they just don't do
mediocre
that, period,
sound.
but definitely not to that.
So this entire episode is like our main character meeting people and expositing how much DJing means to him, and that he goes to school to people, and then he DJs in the Handshakers dimension with his friend who thinks they're on a date. I'm
angry.
He
says he uses DJ terms at one point, and he just said regular words. nobody misunderstood what he was saying.
That also made me angry.
No.
Title?
My title is W's episode 1. That face when your crush drags you to a trans-dimensional fight club for the sake of his art.
That makes it sound more interesting than it actually was.
A good title will do that.
Chris, you want to tell us about our next show, Wataten? An angel flew down to me.
Yes.
I'm so glad Chris is the one that has to describe this.
Did I describe who's the maid last season or the season before?
I think you did.
How does this keep happening?
I vote we always stick the bullshit lolly on Chris.
Well, we don't know going into it. Just works out that way. I get all the lolly and all the edgy. That's just my fate, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's a 10? RMC apparently being I'm not sure if aroused is the word I want to use, because that might be misleading, but I think that's the
I don't think it's misleading. It's not misleading at all.
It's not misleading. She got super moist.
not the word I would have used.
Is is what makes it uncomfortable.
Maybe what we can hope for is her confronting these feelings, and we have a serious discussion on, like, you know, what it is to have those feelings and to control them and to understand where the lines are. And
Nah, she's gonna steal her panties and sniff them.
She's gonna like.
That's where this show's
That's
going.
the vibe that, yeah.
She's gonna she's gonna create a Twitter account and like join a map support group or some shit. And sorry, I just had to trigger Dean there.
I'm going to interrupt her just a second because I just saw something rather remarkable. 4 Apache attack helicopters just flew in formation over my apartment.
Nice.
You're fucked, Chris. You're fucked.
Well, no, they passed over, and, like, you know, they didn't. They weren't,
Don't
but it
tell
was still
them where I am.
There's just there's something interesting about seeing that. That's not a sight you see every day. So anyway,
Yeah, like what if you open up your book of fate and you're reading and it says you commit suicide at 22? Like what are you meant to do with that information?
One of the girl's green powers is that there's 5 of her.
it's not a bad power.
And she presumably can make more.
Yeah, she says she can make more, but we don't know how she can make more. That isn't explained. Nothing is explained.
So basically, what this is, it's post-apocalyptic Emote House.
Yeah, basically, it's post-apocalyptic
Wow.
Komodo house.
That is a perfect description of this fucking piece of trash.
Yeah.
Except it's not supposed to be a comedy. So,
And I agree with that assessment.
Due date?
Yes, due date. Good movie. Really good movie. A dog masturbates in it.
Sold. Oh man.
They made a dog masturbating work in a film, and it was hilarious. And
I think
funny.
it's time to start talking about the price of smiles.
I mean, that'd be better than what we're talking about now.
Turns out that the countries are actually at war, or war is breaking out as we speak. I forget which one it is. But they can't tell the princess because she would just be heartbroken. So the price of smiles implicitly is the cost in human lives to keep your princess, blissfully unaware of the fact that her empire, this prosperous place, is, basically as prosperous it is because it's, exploiting implicitly other countries. Yeah.
Just generally, that's how you do things.
Maybe that's just the narrative they told us, though, because what actually happened is you had a whole bunch of factions sort of split off, and then one started to take over all the others, and then just kind of said like, oh yeah, this is the way it's always been. We've always been the ones in charge and ruling with an iron fist that has lots of glowy lights.
Because God.
Because God, duh.
The Price of Smiles, Episode 1, Anime's Case for Anarchism.
For those of you not enjoying the video feed, Indeed just had a spit take, or almost did.
I was drinking my coffee right as you said that.
Let's kick off round 1 of today's group play.
Is Ryan okay?
I don't
know.
Ryan.
He just he left, and then I heard a crash, and he's not back yet.
I'm kind of concerned.
My guess is you just need to take like a restroom break or something while the
Maybe.
audio's-
I hope he didn't fall down.
We can't see.
He
Unfortunately.
can't. I'm looking at an empty chair.
So I guess we'll call emergency services if he's not back in.
Yeah,
maybe 10
we'll
minutes?
give yeah.
Anyway. In the event that he does wander back in here in the next few moments, our first matchup is round 1, matchup number 1. It's there we go. Next up, we have W's versus Converti Kusa.
W's.
Dean's making that sound again. Are we in the losers bracket?
This is the fucking worst.
We are in the losers bracket, the hosts.
Are we the losers?
We are.
We are losers.
We are.
And super special second return guest, the shy reserved healer, Libby.
Hello. Shy
Libby's a
until
mercy main.
shy for probably the first 24 hours. I know somebody, and then I get too loud. I would say too
yes.
loud.
Yes.
It's an amount of loud that's it's too loud.
that magical point in a socially awkward person developing a relationship in which you have had enough time around this person that you feel comfortable, and then you realize, oh shit, I'm way too comfortable, and you have to reel it back in a little bit. Yeah, yep. I know that moment very well.
I am also familiar.
One of the kids gets picked. She's a little kid that everybody loves. She's little and sort of kind of kawaii, and they just won't. They just won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They've been the only thing that gets them to cross the barrier is the thing that you were just talking about. Oh my god, poetry's happening. Okay, so the only thing that gets them to cross the barrier is the thing that you were just talking about, Libby, which is their love for each other. So they want her to be happy so bad that it overcomes the conditioning. They break the conditioning to not cross the barrier. And it's oh my god, yes, that's poetry, man. That's awesome. So they cross. They're like, let's just get in trouble together, man. We gotta help our friend, our sister, kind of whatever. And so they go in there and they do it. Oh man, that's cool. That's kind of poetic. I like that. She loved My Little Pony, and I watched a lot of that with her, and it was amazing. I had heard from the fandom that it dealt with these interesting issues and all this other stuff. They have a show that literally deals with communism.
Yeah, we gushed about that on AniFiles for like an hour.
We did. They had an episode that literally dealt with communism, and it's like, oh my god, this show's awesome. And it was really good.
Is there a character in there named Merx?
Get out.
Yeah, it was just like that, and it was.
Like late teens, early 20s, young looking, attractive, pink-haired woman.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of 02, actually. Except without the fangs and the horns. But, they can't all be perfect.
There you go. I was about to say all the things that make 02 great.
Did I enjoy the first episode? No. The first episode made me interested to see more? No. So it gets a straight
Did
0.
the last episode make you want to see more?
It did, actually. I'm probably going to watch all of this because of the last episode.
Huh. So maybe another revision they should have made.
Because if you don't,
and she just like kind of holds up the sword, and then like even with no effort, it just like bounces off. Like whoa! And she's like, huh, "This is awesome." And so again, with the power of friendship and being cute, they defeat the golem. Kawaii. Thank you. And they return to the surface, and she's like, "Haha! You didn't get the orb." It's like, "Yes, but we did find this, the sword of the hero." And then she's like, "Well, shit." And so the rest of the series very clearly is just going to be the various attempts of our kawaii teacher to get the hero to not be able to defeat her eventually, and it's obviously going to fail.
Okay. Are walking down the street, and they're talking about how one of the girls wouldn't wake up. So then the other girl chews on her ear until there's a bite mark.
I totally forgot about that.
It was the reverse of that. The girl who was asleep chewed on the girl who was trying to wake her up's ear.
Yeah, because she wakes up hungry.
Oh my!
So
that was the explanation.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, so soft and spongy. I'm like, disgusting.
You know why they did that, right?
Why?
Because in anime, ear chewing is kawaii.
Kawaii!
Man, I tell you what, if we lived in a world with elves who had, like, Japanese elves whose ears come straight out instead of up, which
Upward,
is
kind of up,
weird, I would
folded
absolutely
up,
be nomming on some elf ears, like, every chance I got.
That something that bothers me that I have seen a lot, and it's sort of extending on what Dean said about just the generic magical girl thing. And something that I really don't like is it's kind of ditzying their way to success. And I don't like, I do not like that portrayal of like, oh, if these girls are successful, it's not because they're badasses, it's because they got lucky. And I just,
if we just kawaii hard enough, everything will work out in the end.
Kawaii! Yeah. So right before she goes on there, she is given like her totally legitimate battle armor and is standing there and just cups her boobs and is just holding them going, what is this? And I'm just like, why are you just holding your boobs for so long? That makes no sense.
I don't know. I feel like
frame.
I feel like if I was a
Because they
girl, I
drew
would
the
hold my
frame,
boobs
and
every
they
chance
only
I
had to
got, but
No, that's correct.
Where she is freaking out that the guy's not understanding, and then he says something, and then the other girl that's in the classroom is like, "Okay, you've gone too far this time." To the guy, it's like, can you not see her feelings? That she's expressing her feelings, and you're just totally ignoring them. It's like,
Well, every time
what are you
I
talking
hit on a
about?
chick- look, every time I hit on a chick, I open with, "Hey, let me piss in that mouth."
So the second half is her invention is dark matter that you can inject up your skirt. So no matter what happens, your skirt gets flipped up in the breeze, someone tries to look under it, they can't see your panties, and it's super great.
Because it looks like space.
Yeah, because dark matter just looks like space. There's stars and nebulas and everything up in there. Dean!
Dark
Dean!
matter's invisible.
Dean! No, Dean! It's not the dark matter that looks like space. Girls just have stars and nebulas up their crotch, but we can't see it without the aid of dark matter.
Every girl's skirt contains multitudes.
And she's so confident that her invention works that she's not even wearing panties. And she says, "You know what that means?" The guy says, "No." And she says, "You know how guys have a thing that girls don't?" And he says, "No, what are you talking about?" Copy paste my rant fucking again.
Yep.
Holy fucking balls. I hate everything about this so much.
Just smack the shit out your mic, dude.
I literally just punched my mic. Like,
I will say one of the saving graces here is the fact that I honestly was smirking to myself a little bit almost the whole time, because this is a side of female puberty that they do not show on a lot of shows.
They don't.
Puberty and the intense anger that comes with it. And it's because because I was that kind of girl, not trying to make guys drink my piss, but I would try to flirt with a guy, and then when it would go wrong, I would just lose my shit and I would get into fist fights with guys on the playground because I was pissed that they didn't like me. How fucking dare you? I just got so mad, and so I was kind of like, that part of it was kind of funny to me because I was just like, the good old days.
I think that's where we get tsundere from, is the whole it's not like I like you or anything.
And this also came off as this is the understanding of sexuality that a person who only knows about sexuality from porn has.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, look at my skirt, drink my piss. This is sex, right?
This is what anime has taught me.
I'm sure. Yeah. And
so this anime,
don't you have tentacles?
This anime is an anime about what anime has wrought.
It is.
And if you'd like to look on the dark corners of the internet to try to find my Zanga, that will have a lot of publishings from my angsty middle school years of beating up boys, then you're welcome to. I don't know what the username is. Good luck.
God, I remember Zanga. That was so long ago.
And reveal. We got 2 in favor of Bueno and 1 in favor of Virtual Son, which means the Virtual Son will advance to the next round.
What are we doing to ourselves, Dean?
The fact that we're gonna have to watch this fucking thing has me so upset. I am so upset by this.
The stakes are so much higher now.
They really are.
We now move back down to our losers bracket. We have our 5 seed Wata 10 versus our 4 seed Meiji Tokyo Rinka. 1 if you'd rather watch Wata 10, and 2 if you'd rather watch Rinka.
Oh man, did I hate both of these.
Same fam.
Which means that Wata 10 advances up into the finals. We face an interesting decision, my friends. The grand finals matchup of the Winter 2019 losers bracket is our 2 seed Virtual Son Looking versus our 5 seed Wata 10. Select 1 if you'd rather watch Virtual Son Looking, and 2 if you'd rather watch Wata 10.
I know my answer already, but I'm not happy about it.
Oh man.
Which means the Virtual Son Looking is our grand champion.
Well,
No.
You will be watching the entire season of Virtual Son Looking.
Why did you do this? You know better, right?
Is there more like surprise meaningless kissing?
no.
All I'm in for is for this man to bang a jet. That's all I want.
Well, you're going to be sorely disappointed.
But I'm not watching it. Look, all I care about, no joke. The only reason I would watch that show is if there's a chance that this man puts his dick in a jet. That's all I want.
In jet form or girl form?
Either one.
Speaking
I want to
literally,
see this man fucking afterburner.
speaking literally, he does put his dick in a jet. However,
Just not sexually.
he puts the rest of himself in a jet as well.
Okay, see, that's less useful.
Every time he gets in, he says, "I'm inside you."
I want this man to get pegged by a flight stick.
But I actually kind of came to enjoy like the Fujiaoi Park one with the gorilla. Aoi, hi.
God.
And so, like, you know, when you have like there's those few things that you're kind of looking forward to or find more amusing, it's like that like little bright spot in like the otherwise the rest of the episode that you're just kind of suffering through. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you kind of come to like, my friend, I'm so glad to see you for the 30-second share on screen. Let's see you next episode.
If the stream is not the highest quality right now because I'm streaming and I don't have all of the stuff that Ryan has to make it pretty. So yeah, the "we'll be right back" screen is going to be evidence of that.
Yeah,
10 of 10.
10 of 10.
Scott.
All right, we'll be right back. I can also be I have access to the AniFiles Twitter @FilesAni.
We have made the grave mistake of giving Dean the keys to the AniFiles Twitter.
It was a huge fucking mistake. I've been there's so much shit that I can't retweet, but I've been retweeting a lot.